All right, guys, on this week's show, we're going to be doing an interview with Grybach and subscription fees in Guild Wars 2. Stay tuned. Oh, okay, that was a thumbs up. I couldn't tell. It was doing all sorts of... I don't know. You guys couldn't see it. It was like... I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so welcome, everyone, to episode number 78 of the Chronicles of Tyria podcast, Guild Wars 2 podcast for fans, by fans. Sorry, we're trying a little something different with the intro. It'll be more refined next week, I promise. I literally came up with it a minute before we started broadcasting. So... buckle up, guys. Right now, it's going to be a long one. Put that out there now. On this week's show, we are going to be doing an interview with Grybach from Relics of Ore, and thankfully it's not Relish of Ore, because that would taste like eating toes and pickled gross. Thank you, bromms.
What?
So anyway, I guess we'll introduce everybody. I'm here with Naveen and bromms, as usual, and also...
Hi, guys.
Naveen's dying, and Grybach from Relics of Ore, so welcome.
Hello.
That was a shy. Hi, what's up, guys?
So yeah, we're gonna be doing an interview in our typical interview style, probably with a lot of the questions most of you may recognize, because we don't ever change them.
That's not true.
Sometimes we do.
No, we don't.
But yeah, and we got a ton of mail and some really interesting Reddit explosion topics to go over today.
Yeah.
So
Explosions!
yeah, I don't know if you haven't seen, just, I don't know, hold on to your hat because it's gonna get nuts. But
I'm a little
to
scared.
start this show off, Naveen, is there a meme for today's show?
This CoTPodcast episode is brought to you by the meme. Toot toot! All aboard the speculation train.
Yep, that's gonna pretty much play in exactly to what we're talking about today. And yeah, if you don't know, like I said,
I just linked it in chat.
it's linked in the chat, so get ready.
Yeah.
It's a Grybach.
Yes.
It's awesome. Thanks for that.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for that awesome, again, made up, was that 5-10 minutes before the show meme?
Yeah.
We're on the ball today, guys.
Oh! That's cool. That's how we
I'm
work.
just gonna say you can blame everything on me this episode
Cool. That's
'Cause I-
actually why we invited you here.
because I posted that link on Twitter like 3 minutes after it went up on Reddit, and then everybody and their mother retweeted that and just like
Explosions caused
Explosions.
by Grybach.
all over the place.
He'll be our scapegoat. We're gonna put that out there again, because scapegoat
He's
is
pulling
a word
his
that
scarlet.
most people, apparently, when I said it the last time I used scapegoat, didn't know what a scapegoat was.
I have a
So-
good reason to not know what a scapegoat is.
Because you don't speak English.
Yeah.
Because you're uneducated.
I mean, quoi? Just, what?
Okay. Como? Nani?
I'm
We
wrong.
throw out as many
Yeah.
languages as we know how to say what in.
Uh,
But yeah, I know you did get a lot of people in the chat last time that were like, I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I totally know what a scapegoat is, and that's the only reason why. So, Joey Wheeler. Anyway, going into our question of the week, because this is like, there's a million answers for this.
Yeah.
Best question of the week response ever. Maybe it's because we announced the prize ahead of time. I don't know. But it was, what's your Guild Wars 2 2014 resolution? So we're just going to try to run through these as quick as possible because there was a lot.
okay.
Yes.
So how about we go lagywn, bromms, naveen.
I'll expect
Sure.
you to call me that for the rest of the grave.
So you say that now, but she'll do that.
Yep.
Yes.
It'd make a
Listen.
good show.
Challenge accepted.
We were playing Guild Wars 1 for our Let's Play series that it'll be coming out tomorrow, when she came up with the idea that when you read an NPC's dialogue, any word that's written in green, you have to scream it. So that...
Go get the candlesticks! That's how it
Yeah.
works, right?
Yeah. All right. So anyway, Durzin on Twitter said his Guild Wars 2 2014 resolution is to kill Traherne. Not a bad resolution.
Wow.
I wish
Should-
you the best of luck, my friend.
Should have played a little bit more of the whatever that stupid poison patch was.
Yeah.
In the
Oh.
tree.
Yeah. This, that was a patch that came out like a month ago, and we already forgot the name.
There's
it
so many
red?
patches I can't remember their names.
I know.
Their names.
Tower of
Oh,
Madness,
Nightmare.
Sadness, Nightmare.
Scarlet Return.
Nightmare Within.
Marjorie
Tower
and
of
Casimir,
Nightmare.
get it on.
Nightmare Within. There you go.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Drake Rubicon says, that's easy. Kill Scarlet once and for all, kill her dead, and then hopefully enjoy a better written story. Ouch. Ouchies.
What? How dare? How dare? Okay,
Wait, sorry. I got lost. Which one did you just read? The second one? Kill Scarlet
Yeah,
once and for all?
Yeah.
Oh, there we
you're
go.
on Michael, that one there.
All right, from Akaimizu would says I would say my Guild Wars 2 resolution of 2014 is 1920 by 1080, but
Lol.
that would be too easy. But seriously, mine would be to try to get 2 of my characters to their end game.
Oh, that's a good one.
I always like clever answers, though.
Yeah, yeah, but at one point, like,
Non-specific questions lead to non-preferred answers.
That's true.
I didn't copy paste everyone that said that from Twitter, or else I would have been like, oh my god. At one point, I was like, you guys, like, this is getting old now. Like, so 2 minutes ago. The next one is from. Hey, I disappeared. I'm there.
Uh-oh.
Okay. From the Mohawks. That's the most awesome
Get
name
it?
ever.
Moa Hawk.
Said need. I just got it. Need to get Edge of the Mist as main world versus world map. Is that your resolution,
that one.
or is that what you wish for Aina to have as a resolution? I'm not sure.
That's. I think that's more of a wish, but
That's okay.
all right.
Maybe there are ways he can go about doing that. Like sending them
Maybe.
bribe money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. At thinks too much. 1080p.
LOL.
That was easy. Roms, you're up.
Right. I apologize in advance for butchering your name. That's not the actual Twitter handle, sorry. At DeBrouwerRob51S.
No, I mean, this.
That was good, right?
Delete the 51S. That's because that was 51 seconds ago.
We're
Right.
on the ball tonight.
So at DeBrouwerRob now instead of 51 seconds ago. Worry less about ascended weapons and have more WVW fun. I
Aw,
like that one.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
At Alucard11775 says, kill undead with undead, become intimately involved with the Sylvari, study more magic, to name a few.
Become more intimately involved with a Sylvari. All right.
I kind of dig that one. Would you say you
Hey.
have a green thumb?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Not safe for work.
Yeah.
What?
So, what? They want to plant plants together or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Super intimate, right?
Yeah.
Pollination. So cool.
You started a garden in my heart. Anyway, sorry.
Wow.
Let me show
Okay.
you my secret garden.
That was too easy. Oh, from
So was it.
yeah, it was. Lol. From Christina, who I referred as my man chick. 'Cause she's a man chick. My Guild Wars 2 New Year's resolutions are as follows. 1. Obtain my first legendary. I'm currently torn between Twilight and Meteorologicus for my Mesmer. I say get the second one.
I agree.
Because
2.
it's cheaper.
And it looks cooler. Participate in hashtag Guild Wars 2 Project 365 every day this year. I'm already taking a ton of screenshots for my blog, and I think this project will be a fun little side thing for me to do. This idea was developed by Neo Nugget from Guild Wars 2 Guru, and it's awesome. 3. Not necessarily Guild Wars 2 related, but complete Guild Wars 1 by the end of the year. I realize I may not be able to complete the entire game and all expansion packs in 1 year, so I'm setting my sights on completing Prophecies. I really want to play through Guild Wars 1 as I never played it before and really want to learn more about the lore and the story of Tyria. Watching your Let's Lores will help with this. Damn straight it will.
Yeah.
Yep. Make sure you scream all the green words.
Shameless self-promotion.
Yeah. Thanks, Christina.
All right. Tully says, "Hi, hosts of Chronicles of Tyria, but especially Brahms. My New Year's resolution is 300 by 1280.
Ew. What?
Really?
His screen is upside. I mean,
I was gonna
sideways.
say, it's also really low. All right, whatever, man.
That's how they do it in Dutchland.
Yeah.
I guess. My actual New Year's resolution for Guild Wars 2 is to become very rich and buy many legendaries off the trading post.
Mm-hmm.
I will then give all those legendaries to Brahms.
What?
By the way, don't touch the guild upgrades. I'm saving them for the party. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Speaking of getting rich. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think this is my favorite one, and
I wonder why.
yeah, I think it's a good one. Go ahead and do it.
Speaking of
Tully.
getting rich, did any of you guys see that post on Reddit about the guy that makes like 600 to 800 gold a day?
Yeah.
It's like 8
8
accounts.
Yeah, he's 8 boxing.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving
Impressive,
on.
but I'd be like, nah.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he doesn't get banned sometime soon, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Right, so next is Kyra Riversong. Hello, everyone. Kyra Riversong here from Yak's Bend.
What's up?
I have a couple of New Year's resolutions for Guild Wars 2, which is kind of weird because I don't even make those in real life.
Wow.
I know the feeling. This year in Guild Wars 2, I will finally have Bifrost after working on it for about a year now. All I have left is the Legend, which is the precursor, and a few T6 mats left to get. Being a main World v World player makes it hard to focus on getting my Legendary, and so it seems to be taking me forever. But my goal is to have it by the middle of this year, if not sooner. My second resolution is to finally run Aura Path 4 and finish my Dungeon Master. Being in a World v World guild makes it hard to set aside time to run a 4-hour dungeon, which is how long I've heard it takes because I tend to get wrapped up in World v World. And if we're not doing so hot on the day I set aside to run it, I'm like, okay, World v World takes priority. I know you can buy Aura Paths now, but I just find that kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I would much rather actually run the dungeon. So hey, if you guys ever want to do Aura Path 4 run and need another body, you can always message me. Kiara Riversong, love to watch your show. Hope you guys had a great Christmas and New Year.
Yay.
Thank you. Yeah, you too. And we'd be glad to join you sometime if you can find us all online at the same time.
Yeah.
I had
I
to
will
find
run
help to
Path
run that
2
Path
all
2,
you
so.
want.
Which
Path
is
4, though?
Path 4.
I'm out. I'm
Well-
out on Path 4.
The good news is it shouldn't take 4 hours if you can get a decent team together.
We're
So,
decent.
Yeah, we're like above decent.
Duh.
You guys can be the decent team for Path 4.
All right.
I'm out for Path 4. I got things to do. Path 2, Path 3, I'm down. Because if you only need tokens,
Party pooper lagywn.
what are
Yeah.
you doing Path 4?
But yes, feel free to message us in game if
Yep.
you can find us, and we'd be glad to run with you. Except stupid face lag, but he doesn't count.
Nope.
Not
Yeah,
this guy.
well. I'm going to give a thumbs up to Kyra because I'm also from Yak Bend, so
Oh.
Nice.
good post. Richard Sampson says, my resolution is to finish the Flameseeker Prophecies and Bolt this year. That's
Wow.
pretty ambitious, but it can be done if he's saved up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I wish I had that kind of ambition. It's a lot of money.
I finished my second one when Ascended Armor came out.
Wow.
That's good because
can be
that
done.
was before all the ascended mats were needed or all the tier 6 mats were needed for armors and weapons. So
Well, that's I already did that part. I actually sold a bunch of stuff when all that stuff came out, so that I could make a bunch of money and buy the precursor.
yeah, good idea.
Michael Ramirez says a resolution would be to finish the storyline on all 11 of my characters. Cartography. Yes, but if you have 11 characters, try to spend as much time as you can on one. 150
Okay.
magic find. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Tier
Yeah.
3 cultural for 3 more of my characters. Oh, so you can get the achievement. 500 crafting. Uploading my personal website for online. Almost done. Just offline. Oh, yeah. That takes a while. More than cartography.
The next part's also them.
Yeah, you
Ah.
got more to that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was a person called Star. Okay. He proceeds with saying, but most of all, having the courage to finally finish my Guild Wars 2 rap album project. What? I've started it after hearing Naveen's hit with Scrit and Dredge. What? After hearing Naveen on the mic, it hit me to smash the 2 hobbies I love. Write raps and Guild Wars. That is pretty cool. I wrote a theme song for the COT podcast, but was hesitant to upload it, not knowing the outcome in 2013. This year is a new venture for my endeavors. Endeavors?
Endeavors.
I was testing you guys, and plan to do everything I can that imposes the thoughts I'll do it laters. That is cool, man. That's
Yeah.
super awesome.
You should do it, and it's weird to like put yourself out in front of the community, but you just gotta do it. And like, some people are gonna hate it, and some people are gonna like it, and the people that don't like it, don't worry about them.
They can
And the people that
suck
do, focus on them, and yeah, just do it and put it out there. I mean, the Guild Wars 2 community is pretty cool with stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just do it. What's
I
the worst
want
that
to
can
hear
happen,
it.
really?
I want to hear the COT podcast rap song. I want to hear it.
Yeah, if
Send
you
us
can send it to us, I'd like to hear it too. We won't necessarily put it on the show if you don't want us to, but I would like to hear it just to see what it is. So
Yeah, me too. Yay! Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
glad I
I mean,
inspired someone.
If you feel comfortable, because
Yeah.
you know.
do it.
No pressure.
Peer pressure.
So, Marnik says, "Hello, hosts. My resolution for Guild Wars 2 in 2014 is to play the way I want. I know that's a silly statement, but I've been, at points, playing content I didn't like. That's just not excusable. I've grinded too much for my Ascended back, I've done some silly achievement grinding, Dragon Bash, and I forced myself to complete Molten Facility at a time where it really wasn't feasible. In 2014, I simply want to have fun in the game and not care about gold, item, or stats. Such a regular thing to say for a game, but so difficult to achieve in an MMO. I will write 2014 every single time I mention the current date and not make the mistake to write 2013 a single time.
I know, right?
Regards."
That's a good one. Yeah, I can sympathize with what he says because there was a time where I think a lot of people, but I did it too. You want to get all of the meta achievements for the event. So even if you're doing something that's not fun, you're like, I just want to do this. And then after you miss like a month or two of it, you just kind of get over it. And you're like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm just going to do this stuff I want to do. If I really want something, I'll work on it. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, you're playing a game to have fun, not as a second job. So, yeah, just do the stuff you want to do and you're good.
Yeah.
As an aside, I actually think that's a really important point whenever
Yeah.
companies are thinking about how they want to try and like keep player engagement high, is that, you know, whether that's a subscription or whether that's, you know, having a ton of things to grind for, there's an incentive for them to keep us playing as much as possible, but the risk is exactly what you said, is once you miss it or once you stop doing it for a month, you just sort of go, oh, I actually wasn't having fun and now I'm just done. And you just
Yeah.
you know, it can drive people away too. So you need to have a good balance for those types of things, which I think they've gotten a lot better with tying the meta achievements to both daily achievements and also having fewer required than the number of achievements that are possible.
The
barring
daily
some-
achievement thing was huge. Like, that
was
is a
huge.
big step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that definitely helps because I was always doing the same thing. I was always chasing all the achievements, and what I really wanted was the metas, basically. And since they've done that, I've been a little bit more lax on it because I missed a patch or two, and you know, I just said,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the exact same. I missed a couple. I think it might have been around the Tequaddle update, maybe, or maybe just the one right after that. Or I know I definitely didn't like. I don't know. Super Adventure Box never really engaged me the way it engaged a lot of people the first go around. So the second go around, I really wasn't like I went through and did, you know, got through to the end and did that, but like I really just wasn't bothered with Tribulation Mode because it just wasn't for me. And then I missed those achievements, and that kind of like re-lowered the bar for me. And I'm like, whatever, I'll log on and play, and if it's something I like, I'll do it. And if I don't feel like I have to grind it out for forever, like doing the like the fractal event or fractured or whatever that one was,
Uh-huh.
I didn't do any of that really because I don't really like fractals that much. So
I didn't used to like fractals until that update. Then I was like, oh my god, it's achievement time. Let's go. All the fractals. And it was fun.
Train toot.
I think that's where you have to have that balance. Is you're gonna get people if they like to play content. They like if they're all about achievements, they'll do stuff they might not like to get the achievements.
Right.
But then you
Like
may
World
also
v World.
like
Yeah.
World v World, because a lot of people jumped into World v World to do the season stuff to get the rewards and things for that.
Mm.
But then on the other side of it, you're gonna drive some people away if they don't like that content. Then they're not gonna play it, and then they just can't be bothered. And then again, like we're kind of talking about, that can sometimes lower your interest bar, and you're like, well, I don't have to log in. This month is gonna ruin it. It's ruined it for me. Like I'm playing other games.
Yeah.
Like,
Ditto.
games I haven't picked up in a year because I haven't had the time because I had to be in Guild Wars every 2 weeks.
I'm just spending my husband's money on Steam.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, I mean, it's a podcast 1-2 days a week, prep for that stuff, and then it's like, okay, now I need to make sure I play this stuff every week because, you know, there's a very real chance that it's gonna be gone if I miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I've had, you know, was it 6 weeks where I'm just like, oh, better you know what? I'm not gonna log in today. I'm gonna go on Xbox Live, or you know, I'm gonna play some Pokemon, or whoa, spend time with my wife. Look out! But
That's whoa.
A nice.
yeah,
crazy talk.
I know, not too much time because I don't want to raise like you know her expectations that I'm gonna be around. I'm January.
Then you'll have the same problem with Guild Wars as with your wife. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I need whore.
Patched Guild Wars. All right.
Anyway,
Next.
I
Yes.
think you're up next.
I am. Next is from Jexos, who I want to say hi to because Jexos is awesome.
Hi, Exos.
Late response because it took me a while to figure this out since I am bad at keeping them. But oh right, hope it's still on time. Sorry, I got lost there for a second. My Guild Wars 2 New Year's resolutions are: get one of each class to 80. 4 classes to go. Oh,
Wow.
it's gracious. That's good luck.
I only have one left.
Really?
Nice.
What?
Man, I don't know how you guys do it.
Crazy.
And he's at 55, I think. So
Nice.
almost there.
Nice.
When and if new legendary gear comes out, make another legendary and complete as many achievements as I can. Seems pretty simple and straightforward. Maybe I'll actually keep these since I probably won't keep my in real life ones.
Who does?
Yeah, I feel you, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Your comment was shorter than I thought it was. All right, the next one is from Aster. Hello, Chronicles of Tyria. The question was, what's your resolution, right? Because I hope that's what I'm going to answer. My resolution is to not recreate any more character. Oh, wait, I already broke that one. My second resolution is to craft my own legendary weapon because I really like shiny things, although I usually pass on things like this. My third resolution is to keep posting Guild Wars 2 screenshot every day for the rest of the year. I suppose you've heard about the hashtag GW2 Project 365 by now.
Uh-huh.
I started a couple of days late, but I want to commit to this. Oh, I'm sorry, you already host. And my third resolution is apparently they have two third resolutions, is to create a boy band with human characters and travel all over Tyria, bringing joy and or grief to our fans, with soon-to-be hits like I Kissed a Norn and I Liked It, I Like Big Buffs and I Cannot Lie, and
Nice.
Opa Quaggan style.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Those are. I'm gonna stop right there and give some major thumbs up for quality puns.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I know one of these is completely unrealistic. I mean, 365 pictures, yeah, right. But I'm rooting for myself.
I like that that's the unrealistic one and not the boy band. That gives me hope. Please, I want to see that boy band so bad.
Oh, me too. I like Big Buffs and I Cannot Lie. That is awesome. Someone should actually make that song.
I would like to point out that Aster is watching us live and is in the Twitch chat. So,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
thank you, because that was awesome.
It was.
Aster, you got to hook up with Michael Ramirez and you guys can like do a dual project,
Yeah.
like a rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rap boy band, yeah.
Boy band, rap. Well,
It'll happen. And it'll
Yeah.
be awesome.
it'll be the next big thing.
Well, Naveen, we heard yours last week, so before we kind of move out of this, I'm just going to throw out my Guild Wars 2 resolutions, and everybody else kind of hit kind of what I was saying, but I'm at 4 80s, 4 characters left to go to 80. They're all at 20 because of, the other 12 characters I have, so, way too many. I have an excess of experience scrolls, but
Yeah.
But yeah, so 4 to go, and again, that whole to play the way I want to play, and not be absorbed in achievements, and staying current enough that I can do a weekly podcast and talk about things, but not so obsessed that I can't do anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
Grybuck, what about you? What are your resolutions for 2014?
I don't know that I really have any resolutions for in-game. My last profession to get leveled up is my ranger, and it's at like 55. I have 2 legendaries. I might make a third one if I'm really bored. But I think my resolutions for Guild Wars 2 are going to be to actually write more on my blog, because I've been finding it hard to muster up enough willpower to come up with an interesting enough topic to talk about. So I only post about once every 2 or 3 months, and also to keep up on more podcasting, because I really enjoy coming on shows like this and being on Relics and stuff like that. So mine's sort of a meta answer, I guess.
Meta answers are good
answer.
answers.
Yeah.
And
Bromms.
yeah, Brahms, what about you?
I've got a couple. I started doing the Guild Wars 2 Project 365 thing as well, and I'd really like to keep up on that. I think my biggest one is to finish my Hall of Monuments, which I've kind of been working on lately, and it's really hard. And the other one is just to get more involved in the community. I really like this community a lot, and I'd like to participate in it more. So, yeah,
Good.
that's all.
That's a good
All
thing.
right. Well, it sounds like we've got some pretty good resolutions. Hopefully they're not like IRL resolutions, which they're probably already broken at this point. Like the buffalo chicken sandwich that I had for dinner, along with the large coffee and the well, it wasn't a Christmas tree cake, but it's the Valentine's version of a Christmas tree cake. Totally fits in line with my I'm totally gonna stay healthy in 2014. 9 days in.
You can
Just
stay
remember-
healthy, but not eat healthy. I don't know.
Part of being healthy. So sometimes you
This
gotta
guy-
break away.
This
But the real
guy-
key to success is learning to be happy with healthy things.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my god.
Ouch!
I'm out.
I feel like I
I'm
just
out.
got-
Anyway,
Healthy blocked.
yeah. Well,
Nice.
I tried, guys. I was.
I'll back you up on your lifestyle, Lag. You can count on me.
All right, thanks, Brahms.
That's a
we
healthy
did
cake.
just
Healthy.
Have a healthy cake. All right. We did just get. We also got a couple other mails real quick, which I'll run through. But Naveen, I don't know if you want to introduce the name of this person because it's a good
Yes,
friend of our friend Eduardo.
Eduardo is on Game Breaker. Is that Eduardo or same?
Eduardo
same
from Mexico.
From Mexico. Oh,
Yeah, that's what he introduced.
he had the best
himself
questions
as.
on After Dark on Game Breaker.
He does the most amazing paper craft. You should take a look.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's super
Send
cool.
you stuff if it's the same Eduardo, which it very well may be.
It
It
almost
is.
certainly is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Let's just say it is so we can keep the dream alive.
Okay.
All right. So from Alejandro from Mexico. Says, hey, COT. First of all, great show. I love it. Now the question. If y'all went into a FFA arena and duel arena, who would win between you guys? Keep up the good work. See you interior. Alejandro from Mexico.
So, again, I'm still confused if this is a free-for-all arena in real life, if this is in Guild Wars, if this is in some other thing that I don't know.
I think we should say it's real life. 'Cause that would be awesome.
So this is remember the Hunger Games happened on the 75th episode, and I totally won that one. So I think I'm already in.
It depends on the rules because
Quell.
I know that's what happened, and I was the sole survivor.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only surviving tribute.
if I can wear my luchador costume, you guys are down. It's out.
I mean, look at this. I am already
Oh.
a Ninja Turtle.
All you gotta do is
No.
you gotta make those strappy undies really tight around the groin area. No one's going there. No one wants to touch that or see that. You win automatically. Trust me.
What you can
I'm pretty sure I
clearly
could
see-
win without having to do either of those things.
I'm pretty sure Lagywn could lose because his mask is actually upside down. Loser.
I'm just gonna. No, that's actually how it goes.
No.
He's the only one that
The
doesn't really wear
thing-
glasses.
Well,
Oh yeah,
anyways,
that's true.
I'm
It's how.
I'm the only one with a kid, so you can't hurt me.
Is that the rule?
I mean, this is a hypothetical
Yes.
situation anyway. So, just gonna
But she's
point out
French. She'd just run away.
that's
I'm
true.
French Canadian. I'll say sorry.
Run away
Run
with-
away.
Sorry.
Just say sorry.
I'm taking.
on the way out. Just gonna.
Take after my hero, Logan. Run away.
Shut up,
Yeah.
Bromms. I used to like you, not so much.
Yeah.
Podcasting, destroying friendships since.
That's right.
whatever.
That's right.
It's okay. I mean, it's expected because people can't face the fact that they would lose, and so when they are faced with it, they tend to react very poorly. I'm sorry, guys. It's just how it's gonna be. You gotta face up to the facts. Admit that you're gonna lose. I'll win. I'll buy you lunch. We'll be good.
I'll just let you win. How about that? Because
Yeah,
I'm
if that helps you
nice.
sleep at night. Whatever.
Shut up. You can't hit me. I'm a woman.
Not if I close my eyes or not.
Is that how that works?
I was gonna.
Sure.
I was gonna say. I think there
Ow.
might be a story that's for after the show. That's all about that, Brom.
Let's play. Please don't write me complaints because I didn't actually.
Yeah, you just lost a few fangirls there.
Yeah. What is 0 minus 0? 'Cause
Or
that's
maybe
how many-
gained a few, depending on what kind of way they swing.
Hey, ladies.
Anyways, your question is irrelevant, but I like you.
Wow. All right. You are not. We don't need to answer your question because you are relevant.
I'm kidding. But what
No,
kind
no.
of question is that? No, okay, let's answer Guild Wars 2 related question. Who would win? I would win with my Necro. I beat you guys up with my Necro.
I'm a Necro, and I have more legendaries
Yeah,
than you do.
I'm really bad at PvP, so I got no ego in that fight. I'm down. I'll quit before it even starts just to save myself the embarrassment.
By the way, Jolinar says, well, Bromms gained fangirls when they all found out he wasn't married.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
It's true. Okay, all the girls listening to that podcast, send an email to Bromms, that's BROMMS, at Chronicles of Tyria, and tell him that you're fangirl.
All the single ladies. All the single ladies. All the single ladies. I don't know the rest of that song. That's all I know.
I think that's enough. They get the point.
Keep your
Yeah.
hands up.
All right. I just posted a link in the chat real quick. We got an email from Dari Shan, who is watching as well.
Sorry.
I was wondering if you could mention this on the next podcast. It garnered quite a bit of attention on Reddit, and quite a lot of people have shown interest. And if you haven't seen it, it's Guild Wars 1 map overlaid over top of the Guild Wars 2 map. So I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Yeah, it was
But
really
it
cool.
is, it's pretty crazy.
It's huge.
There was actually a version of that came out way back at launch. It's probably not the exact same, but there have been a few that kicked around. I always find it really interesting.
Yeah, I feel this one doesn't have. I don't think this has a South Sun in it because there's really no place for it to be. But yeah, these things are always cool. I always love these comparing the two, and it's also nice to just kind of look at a Guild Wars 1 map basically because
The area is moved because, well, guess what? In 250 years, the Earth kind of shook because of all the freaking dragons.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But you see, there's the difference in the water levels, the ore being risen, and all that kind of stuff.
The only thing that makes me sad, and this is something I harp on about all the time, is that I really love exploring and I really love varied environments, and there's so much of the map that is unused in Guild Wars 2 that was
So
some
far.
of the most interesting places in Guild Wars 1, or at least
Yeah.
the most different. And so that's the only thing about this map that makes me sad, is that we can't go to the
It's empty.
Crystal Desert, and we can't go to the Maguma Wastes, or we can't get, so...
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
I mean, we can go to Ore, though. I mean, that's cool. At least we have that.
Yeah.
which gets old after a little while. But yeah, I do really praise ArenaNet because for prophecies there was everything. There was, Priest Searing has that lush green, fairy tale land, and then you have like desolate, apocalyptic Ascalon. You have the Shiver Peaks. You have a jungle. You have plains. You have the desert. You have the Ring of Fire Island chain, which is volcanic. Like, there's lots of really different environments. And yeah, I feel like I know there's all sorts of different areas in Guild Wars 2. You do have that, but I sometimes feel like I'm just always in Kryta all the time. Even if
That's
I'm
because
not,
you're always
I
in
just,
Queen Sale.
yeah, I guess so. I just feel like I'm always in Kryta, and I'm like, I know there's like, it's like whenever I get a guild mission that sends me to like Timberline Falls, and I'm like, oh my god, there's snow. I forgot about this. This is crazy. So
I just want to plug Alucard Arena too. If you are interested in seeing what the differences are between the original Guild Wars and what we have in Guild Wars 2, you can go to Project Tyria, which is projecttyria.blogspot.com, and she has a ton of pictures up that show similar areas and what they looked like in both games. It's really cool.
Yep.
I remember seeing that. That's a really cool site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really great.
She's still going. She still does it's very awesome work indeed.
yeah, and she's that's why we hand-picked her to be part of our Let's Play series as we play through the game, because having someone with that kind of knowledge run around with you through all of Guild Wars 1 is very useful. And you can clearly see that currently in the Bromms and Alucard episodes in Pre-Searing.
Yeah.
Because she's always like, we should head over here because there's this item, and this item. If we go this way to this quest, that'll lead us directly to this quest, and that synergizes with this. Also, did you know that this is this place in Guild Wars 2?
Yeah.
It works out well because I don't know that stuff very well at all. So
Me and Lag
thankfully,
were just
she
like,
is there to save me.
yeah. You get
We're in
Bromms
the
going,
catacombs.
Oh, that's cool.
Naveen's like, I like pie. And I'm like, oh man,
Look
did you
at
ever
that
look at this thing
statue.
on the ceiling? Like, that's...
Like, oh my god, first person view.
Yeah,
Huh.
I
I
know.
wish. I wish.
Okay, where were we?
Marnik.
Marnik. Whose turn was it?
I'll read Marnix just because, yeah,
Sure.
Okay.
why not? Hey, Cast, you were asking for questions. I have a question. I'm very conflicted about languages in online games. In Guild Wars 1, there's districts for a lot of languages, and it really fractured the community. In Guild Wars 2, World v. World, this leads to server hate based on languages more than anything. In Looking for Group and Dungeon Groups, people start talking different languages, and it's just not good for anyone. On one hand, people claim that everyone should speak English, but that's dishonest. English isn't even close to being the #1 language in the world. I've learned French, German, and Spanish because I understand that most Frenchmen, Germans, and Spanish speak exactly one world language, and that's enough for them. In Guild Wars 1, I use this for power trading between languages. In Guild Wars 2, I can function in most dungeon groups. But still, other people start hating on languages, and I'm not sure whether that's a good thing for the community. Example, Vizuna is despised for being a French server with Canadian night coverage. Kind regards, Marnik. That's an interesting thing. I mean, I haven't run into a lot of non-English speakers, even if they're not great. You can usually still understand them, but it does come up from time to time. I think the best way I've ever seen it handled is in games like Phantasy Star, where you have options that you can select that are pre-made. So, like, you might have a pre-made thing that just says hello, and it automatically translates it into the language of the person that is in the other language. Yeah, I mean, it's something we have to deal with now because I agree that English shouldn't be a standard gaming language. And people from all over the world are playing the game, especially like we're just trying to get in all of the people from or they're trying, not us, but they're opening up in China just soon, I think. Yeah.
But those are going to be well. I mean, I think at the same time, it's a little bit intellectually dishonest to say that English is not. It clearly isn't the #1 language in the world, but that's also including a lot of countries that either don't interact very commonly with us, like China. You know, I mean, the Chinese populace is over 1 billion people, so obviously that's going to skew the language statistics. But they're also not
population. Yeah.
But they're also not the people that are playing Guild Wars. Like, and when it comes out in China, they're going to have their own isolated server. They're not going to be part of our global economy. They're not going to be part of our groups. They're actually probably going to be running a completely different version of the game. So while that's true and English isn't the primary language of the world, it is easily the second language of a large quantity of the, I guess I would call it first world gaming, or, gaming and business culture. I mean it's...
ANET's in Washington State of the United States of America, which is an English-speaking company, and they created the game.
Yeah, but they're also in Europe.
True.
Yeah. I guess, like, how... I feel like most people in the game speak English, but I feel like people shouldn't get offended or frustrated if people don't speak English, because it is such a widespread game. And that's just how the gaming community is now. I mean, it's global. It's everywhere. And so, it's silly to expect someone to speak your language if you don't go out of your way to try to speak someone else's.
Sure. Yeah, and I don't think anybody should ever be, an asshole to somebody that doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, there's eventually going to be a default, like, base as far as that's concerned. And aside from that, I mean, nobody should get angry about it.
Yeah.
Well, me being French Canadian, it doesn't really it doesn't really count because I've been gaming all my life and I've only used English as a language to game. I actually learned a lot of English just by gaming in the beginnings. I don't get offended if people start speaking Dutch in the guild, if people start speaking, I don't know, like German in chat or whatever, I really don't care. But there's often a lot of people who are just going to go like, speak English, this is an English game. It's like, who cares? Like, if they want to have a conversation in their native tongue, why not?
I know.
Just stop being offended and carry on with your day, So I don't care, actually.
I blame Casey. She goes off speaking Australian all the time.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Yeah, well,
I can't handle that.
Everyone knows that Australian shouldn't be spoken by anyone, so it doesn't count. It's not a language, it's more like guttural noises. Sorry. More complaints! Give them to me!
Send all that email to bromms.
After my friends and I had played tons of hours of Guild Wars 1, we actually switched all of the game language to like Korean,
Oh.
just because all the
Yeah.
cutscenes are way funnier in different languages.
Yeah. I actually switched
Pro
it to
tip.
French, and I was like, oh my god, I can't stand all these different terms. Like, I'm used to Lion's Arch, not l'Arche du Lion. It's like, what? Don't call it that. It's stupid.
See, that sounds cooler to me. L'Arche de Lion. It sounds like you're going somewhere important instead of like, I'm going to Lion's Arch.
Going to LA.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
here in the U.S. every time people are like, "Let's go to L.A."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Do you want a waypoint there?
City of Angels. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes. Onward.
Okay.
Oh,
so
emails.
Yeah, that's the end of the emails.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
There's 45 minutes of emails, guys.
I know.
We gotta pick somebody too to win.
Oh,
Yeah, we do. That's the thing.
I'm going to go with...
Sole decision is on you.
I can't
vote
do
Aster.
that. I can't do that. Let's Gryvak chose the winner because he doesn't know most of these people, and
That's
I
true.
do.
That's true.
Oh, well. I chose Aster because those puns were fantastic.
Ah, nice.
I-
Aster,
agree.
congratulations.
What does
You-
Aster want?
He gets. Oh, what does he want?
No, one.
What does he win?
W-O-N.
One Bob.
5 gold and 25 giant Winter's Day boxes, courtesy
Nice.
of
Nice.
John Coppola, of Striker Computers. He's a good friend
Awesome.
of ours.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
You need a custom computer? Check out Striker Computers on Facebook.
Woo!
And by computer, I mean PC case, but also computer. But anyway.
And by
Oh.
PC case, I mean roll salami.
And by computer, I mean that thing with a keyboard.
Uh,
By
so,
keyboard, I meant.
So, like the
We're still-
Casio piano, that's that thing with the keyboard, right?
Yep.
Do, 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 do,
Hey, I wrote that song.
yeah, I know.
I just have one quick shout out this week because Chris Gore, I don't know if those of you guys know, used to be on G4 all the time, Attack of the Show. He's a reviewer, used to do a lot of movie reviews. I don't follow Chris Gore on Twitter, but Chris Gore follows me on Twitter randomly. So, thank you, Chris Gore.
All right.
If you want to follow Chris Gore, it's at that Chris Gore on Twitter. Maybe I'll follow you back because you followed me. So,
It's only polite.
Status.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's like the Twitter rule. Gotta
Yeah.
follow
You're
that.
not following me, but I'm following you. What's up with that?
ain't
I make no
follow
promises.
backlash. I ain't no follow backlash.
this is
Nice.
one of those
Yeah.
shows.
We
Naveen, do you have
already.
any shoutouts?
Huh?
Do you have any shoutouts?
Oh, I forgot to think about shoutouts.
Chris
Well,
Gore
you
follows
think.
me.
I'm going
Well,
to do mine real quick.
Okay.
I have a shout out to Christina because she was my 20th Twitter follower. So thank you for following me.
Nice.
There might actually be stuff in there now.
Yay!
Since there hasn't been for months and months and months. But there should at least be some pictures and maybe some other stuff. Yeah. All right.
Nice.
I'm going to give a shout out to Relics of War. You
Yes.
can find
Nice,
them on
do it.
Twitter at Relics of War. I don't know. I guess technically we're, doing the same kind of show. Maybe I shouldn't be advertising. No, but we
What?
love
No.
all the Guild Wars community.
All of the advertisement.
Yeah. So and I believe it's just relicsofwar.com as well.
Yeah, it is.
So Relics of ORR.
All right.
Thanks.
Naveen, did you have any?
I want to shout out to Thomas the Engine. Toot toot.
Good treat. Just shout out.
All right. Wow.
Doom,
Oh,
doom,
that
doom,
was
doom,
great.
doom, doom, doom. Doom, doom, doom,
Thank
doom,
you
doom,
for
doom,
scaring
doom.
generations of children.
All right.
'Kay.
So why don't we jump ahead in the list of things to talk about and go to the interview and get that over with? Because we've been talking for about an hour Nobody knows who Grybach is.
Oh, that's so mean.
They
Who
do.
you really are.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, we asked the hard-hitting questions, you know.
Yeah, these have been sourced by our interview team. They all have degrees in interviewology.
Yes,
So.
actually,
They're
I
engineers in
graduated
interview.
from,
100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck?
Yes, that is the question.
yes.
Welcome to every AMA.
Well,
Yeah, pretty much. Or not AMA.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Ada Carolina says, no shout out for me for being so kind as to give you candy cane shards. Definitely can't be a fangirl.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I had it written down.
Man.
Okay, let me explain something before, so I can at least. Not
Let me make some
I suck
excuses.
so
Yeah,
bad.
exactly.
Come up with
No,
something
I
really
have-
quick so that you believe me.
I have this board that I write everything on, so I don't forget. But it fell
That
down
works.
behind my computer, and it's not visible right now. So okay. Wow, I'm so sorry, Ala Carolina. Ala Carolina gave me candy cane shards in Guild Wars 1 so I could get the really awesome scarf that I really wanted. Thank you very much. I apologize for not mentioning you, and I'll never do it again.
That's harsh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I know. Wow.
You've just confirmed that nobody will ever give you a donation ever again. It's
Yeah.
just-
Yeah, pretty much. I don't deserve them anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Can we
are we
not?
good?
Can we not look at me anymore?
Let's make this awkward.
Can't show my face. I'm hideous.
Yeah, everybody just turn off your cameras now, except for Brahms. Just making the entire stream.
Son likes to point out that you're turning
Sick.
red.
It's the color of shame.
All right.
Puppy dog face. Yeah, let's not make this any worse than it really needs
So-
to be.
Grybach, let's start off with some questions here.
No, can I, I'm just, before, okay? Eduardo from Mexico is awesome, but also made the greatest typo ever. Because he says, please give a shout out for the artists. Who are not slowly making their hard work for the calendar. I want to shout out to the artists.
That one really got you right where it counts to be.
Artists.
Are those like? Is that what pirates have?
That's my favorite subreddit. Arthur.
Oh yeah. There we go.
It's a great start off the interview, guys.
This is the best. This is the best thing ever.
I think that Great with me, you and Black should post up there when we're done with this podcast. The artists.
What's that?
We should definitely post the artists when we're done. That'd be awesome.
That's the. That should be the title of the show. No, artists.
I mean, do it.
One of these days, we won't have a body part mentioned in our title.
But it's not this day.
But not this day.
Today is not this.
oh, you
There's your
guys.
meme for next week. Write that
Brace
down.
yourselves. Puns are coming.
Yeah. But do you remember like two? Wait a second. Okay, I thought it was my son crying, but
None of us
it's
can-
really my head.
yeah.
Do you
Is
remember
your husband
the
crying?
my son, not my husband.
I thought it was my son crying, but it was my husband.
No.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Guys, I'd like to point out since we said artists.
Oh, he is crying
that-
for real. Hold on. I'll be back. Just
right.
do your thing.
Okay. So yeah, we said artists, and we got 37 more people watching live.
Wow.
So it doesn't take much, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. To comment on Eduardo's thing, I would like to shout out to the artists that are working on our COT community calendar, which is due to come out next Wednesday or Thursday, hopefully. We are receiving submissions. I've been getting them up to.
Oh, that cat is photobombing us.
Is it? I didn't even. Oh, it is. Look at that stream.
Artists, screw it. We got cats.
Yeah.
We're
That's
fine.
true. This is the
All right.
internet, so now
Sorry.
we win.
Continue on. That was rude.
But anyway, yeah. So thank you to the artists that have submitted, and to those of you still diligently working, please keep at it. And it's funny because I don't know if they can. Can you guys see the cat live? Because Naveen uses 2 different webcams, so
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah,
we're
there it
just
is. It
talking
just-
about a cat. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Fine. All right.
So
I want to
yes.
say too regarding the art stuff. If anyone has signed up to do pictures, and if they have extra time, get in touch with Lag, because yeah, we'd like to get some people. Like we'd like to get people to fill all of the months up, and yeah, that needs to happen. So if you have extra time and if you're willing to do it, please contact Lag if you're on the art team already, so that you can do
Yes.
art,
We are-
more art.
I think we are currently missing, well, 1 month right now, because we have a pretty awesome team and some people. I'll come out and say it right now. I'd like to shout out to Son, because she stepped up and has submitted 4 pieces of art already in like a week. She's like a machine. She's like, here's 4 pictures for the calendar. I think I got 1 more in me, because she's ridiculous. So thank you for saving my ass on this one. Well, Naveen's back.
Woo.
You said that so disappointedly.
No,
Well,
I just
Naveen's back. Give us the cat. We want the cat.
Oh, you
Yeah,
guys
The
wanted.
cat is in there.
no,
your
it
cat
was
photobombed us.
yeah.
Got it.
Your cat was on the stream for a little while.
Oh. What's up, kitty?
It was adorable.
Thank you. Oh, the things that I could say that is not appropriate for a podcast. All right.
What stopped
Yeah.
you so far?
Lord knows we don't say inappropriate things on our podcast.
No, but this is like,
ever.
you know, this is inappropriate, and then there's stupidly inappropriate.
It's like inappropriate. 40 more watchers inappropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, everybody just right on the same page on that one.
Do you guys remember like 2 shows ago where we changed the title to Naveen's Boobs, Lag's
Yes.
Package, and Casey's Broccoli?
Yeah.
It got 50% increase in downloads. That was our theory, right? That if we change it to a naughty
Yeah.
title, yeah, well, it
Yep.
worked.
So we basically figured out the internet.
Yep.
Is what that means.
It's only taken us how long to figure that out?
Surprise.
78 episodes. No, I think this.
Clickbaiting. What's that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
This
call
one-
this episode "Cat Boobs Cat." Naked
You just call
Chicks.
it Naked Chronicles of Tyria Time.
I've almost said something, but it might actually be a little bit too inappropriate, so
Oh.
I'll just cut it off there.
Right.
Okay, that's awesome.
So
Yeah.
interview. Yeah.
Yeah, we had lots of interesting people saying things in the chat when we totally broke down there. Like, Naveen.exe has stopped working, things like that. Which,
Yeah, that was a good one.
there's some pretty good stuff in there, but I don't want to scroll back through because then we'll just get lost and we'll start rereading it and we'll start laughing again. We just won't.
Yeah,
So,
I think I
Rybok.
laughed too much because my son I woke him up.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm not
I was gonna
sorry.
say. So again,
Danger zone.
Yeah. Cats with boobs? What? Profit?
Sometimes you guys scare me.
Oh, I have to show you guys. Maybe I'll put it on CoTPodcast.com so that everyone can see it. But there's a picture going around in Twitter. It's a potato. It's like 2 potatoes joined together, and they look like boobs because they have actual nipples on them. It's funny. It's just-
Sounds hilarious, Naveen.
Guild Wars 2 interview. Grybach.
potato. All right, so Grybach, for those of us out here in the world and the interwebs that don't know you,
For some
who
weird-
are you?
I am a blogger, I guess would be my first thing that I really started doing. I started it in 2011, I want to say. And Originally, actually, as it so happens, my origin story, if you will, was that I watched a lot of podcasts like Chronicles of Tyria or Relics of Ore or Guildcast, and I usually wrote extremely long comments in reply to the videos. And on Relics, one of the hosts actually had to ask that myself and another poster contain ourselves to only 500 words per because we were intimidating other posters to not answer their questions. So that sort of gave me the kick in the pants to start my own blog, because I realized that I wrote way too much for anybody to read about in comment sections. And at the same time, I was posting a lot on Guild Wars 2 Guru, and I would also write extremely long, like 1,500, 2,500 word posts, and then they'd just get blown past by a ton of one-liner comments, and then they'd get buried in page 4 out of 30, and I found that really frustrating. But that's the nature of a forum like that. So I started a blog way back then, and that's been the trend of how I write, is that I usually try and take a topic and go fairly in depth with why this is this way, the pros, the cons, the impact, the influences. If it were to change, how would it change this thing? What are the ramifications of this leading to this, and whether or not that's desirable, or all those types of things. So that's how my writing is. As I said earlier, I haven't been writing as frequently as I'd like to, but it is what it is. And then I joined Relics of Ore more officially as a host. Starting at PAX, I gave an interview because I actually went to PAX and went to their ANET party.
Nice.
And then I've just started going on the show since then.
That's cool.
All right.
Cool story, bro.
Well, and just since we mentioned Relics of Ore there, and you're, we already talked about it's relicsofore.com, but if they want to catch the podcast, how would they go about doing it?
Well, on Twitter they publicize it when they're going live, and I believe it's streamed on twitch.tv/Relics of Ore, and that should get them to our channel. We usually go every Tuesday at about 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. The show usually goes about an hour to an hour 15. And then one of our hosts usually has to bail because he, has a real life and work and all that kind of stuff. So,
Right.
15 minutes overtime? Hell no.
yeah. I gotta get going, guys. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Naveen, or bromms, whoever wants to start the next question.
I'll let bromms do it because I don't even know where we are at.
All right, cool.
I'm sitting here in anticipation because I haven't seen these questions.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh god, what are they going to ask me
Even though it
about?
started with B, I think your question is E.
Yeah,
It goes
no,
like A, B, E.
It's because I didn't want to go in and change all the letters, so I just put where the points are made up and the letters don't matter. This is
Oh,
true.
I didn't read that. I'm sorry.
All right. Does Relics of Ore have a guild, and do you guys accept anyone into the guild if anyone's interested?
Relics does have a guild. I am a member, but my primary guild is actually Twit Guild, which is a guild that was originally founded to be of mostly bloggers and podcasters at the launch of Guild Wars 2. And the full name is I Can Out-Tweet a Centaur.
Yeah.
And so that's actually my main primary guild, but I'm also in Relics. I don't actually know what their policy is on accepting people. I don't believe there's necessarily an application process formally.
Okay.
But
Are they based on Yaxbend?
I believe they're based in Northern Shiver Peaks, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I believe.
Nice.
And I don't know if we have a European presence. I know at least several of the former hosts live in the UK.
Oh.
And so UK, New Zealand, maybe Australia too. So I don't know exactly. They're probably in the guild, but I don't know if there's actually an official Relics guild over there.
Mm.
Right on.
Nice. Oh, I guess I'll go for the next question then.
That was the plan.
No, we're gonna make him read it. Read your own.
read my questions. I can't see. Yeah, I'll just start making things up.
So
I can do it.
I guess it can go to either the Twit Guild or Relics of War Guild, but oh hey, what's the tag for Relics of War? I was curious.
RO.
RO? Okay. Like Ragnarok Online? What?
Dude, I loved Ragnarok Online.
Me
back in the day,
too!
but I always played on the free servers because,
Me
and by
too.
free I mean quasi-legitimate.
That
game
I had
incredibly
to listen to RO music to get me through Tribulation mode because otherwise I would have gone insane. So I just made a playlist of all the city music in RO and it's like, all right, this is what we're gonna do.
Nice.
Worked out beautifully. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
So whichever guild you want to talk about, or even both, are you guys mainly PvE, PvP, or world versus world focus, or do you kind of like go in all directions?
Both guilds, I would say, are mainly PvE focused. They both run, if not weekly, at least semi-frequent guild missions. We do different organized events of all sorts of variety, like be they dungeon nights, doing meta nights. They're not necessarily the same event every week, but both guilds sort of tend to do a lot of PvE oriented stuff. And then there's a mix of World v World players like Neo Nugget from Guild Wars 2. Guru is, he's in Twit Guild and he is pretty much exclusively World v World. So we definitely have some population that does one or the other. I don't think either guild. Well, I can't really speak for Relics because I think they're sort of partnered up with some more PvP centered people, but they both guilds definitely have some people that do each of the arenas. But I would say the lion's share of organized content is PvE general.
Nice.
Well, and Twit Guild really can't be a World v World guild because we didn't exactly know how guesting and servers were going to work, and so a lot of us didn't really actually think it was going to be our main guild. We thought it was going to be kind of just like a chat channel guild, and so I'm on my wife and I are on Yak's Bend. There's probably 10 or 15 people on Jade Quarry that are a lot of the core people, but then there's people like Hunter from Relics of War is on, he's also a blogger, is on Northern Shiver Peaks with Relics, and then we have people on like Elizabeth from Guildcat, formerly of Guildcast, is on Sanctum of Rawl, and we're sort of all over the place, which pretty much precludes us from doing World v World in any sort of organized context.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's kind of a constant. Yeah, it's kind of a constant frustration for us as a guild, is both the influence and the World v World situation. Like, I think all of us would be completely fine with being able to participate in World v World without any rewards if we could actually do it together, but
Yeah, and I still don't like the real separation of the EU NA as well.
Yeah.
Even for like PvE guesting, that's kind of whatever. That's another story. For another time.
That's a whole different topic we could talk about.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of discussed this a little bit, but what do you think about the state of the game? And it's kind of weird because we're not really in it as much, but the state of the game as it stands now and the living story. Are you still really kind of pulled into that at all? And feel free to be as brutal as you want.
That's kind of a hot button issue for me, actually, because I really like expansions, and I really like the places that we went in Guild Wars 1, and I'm really kind of bitter about some of the things that were in Guild Wars 1 that are A, not in Guild Wars 2, and B, have gotten kind of a brush off of maybe someday, or maybe we'll do it with Living Story. Maybe. So that's extremely frustrating for me, and the Living Story, I feel like, has a lot of potential, but there's also a lot of really big systemic problem, and I could probably write a huge blog post about this, but there's a lot of systemic problems and implications with having a bi-weekly or a monthly release schedule, where since it is in monthly increments, it sort of encourages like packets of design, and an expansion sort of by definition is one gigantic packet.
Right.
That so even though they theoretically could do an expansion's worth of content, I'm extremely skeptical as to whether we're going to get that. And I feel like the writing and the plotting has been nowhere near the quality of, I mean, really what we had in Guild Wars 1. And even though that wasn't the highest quality writing, it was like a decent plot, even if sort of the voice acting was painful and all that kind of stuff. And I feel that the exposition so far in Guild Wars 2 has been extremely shoddy, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a constant point of frustration for me. And also I feel that they've drug it on too far, and I definitely feel bad for / have some empathy for the ArenaNet devs because, they, as we know it, the teams work on like 4-month cycles where they work for 4 months and then their patch comes out.
Right.
So by the time we all were sick to death of Scarlet, that was like 2 months ago, which means they still can't do anything for at least 2 months from now. And every patch that happens in between there, people get more and more sick of it, but there's nothing they can do about it because they've already been working on it for X number of months. And so I definitely think that people really need to cut them a little bit of slack on getting really angry about Living Story stuff, because they have to understand that you can't see an impact in Living Story sooner than 4 months from now because of that. And so I do definitely have some, and I actually talked about this on Twitter a lot today. I trust that the ArenaNet devs are like genuine people and they really care about the game, and that they honestly look at things that were successful and also that were mistakes, and whether they consider them to be successful or mistakes versus whether the community considers them to be successful or mistakes are, is always going to be a different thing. But I trust that they are, and we've seen it multiple times, that people have had problems with the way that they've done things, and that over the course of 4 to 6 months, they have actually done significant things to improve those things that we were complaining about. And like I said, you can't expect things much sooner than 4 months out, because that's how long it takes them to put out one of these content patches.
Right.
And so if you look at sort of the macro of how the whole first year evolved, I feel like we have a lot coming in this next year that's going to be very exciting and a lot more polished. And most of the Living Story has gotten more and more polished every time. So to give you a really TLDR, it would be that I've been disappointed, but I'm still optimistic and hopeful. I guess that, and the other thing, and this is going to be, we have a tinfoil hat section on relics where, we do our tinfoil hat. And my tinfoil hat is that I don't know how big the teams are that work on Living World or Living Story, but I will say that as a company, they have been hiring. They have not been laying off, and they are already a very large company.
Yeah.
And I severely doubt that they are spending all of their development resources purely on Living Story.
Yeah.
And so that makes me because if you look at the state of Guild Wars 2 from what we were shown versus what the game probably was in the last, say, year or two of development before it released, they did a shitload, pardon my French, of work.
French.
I know, I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding too.
But they did a metric shit ton of work on the game and produced a lot of content, and I don't see that quantity of content coming out of Living Story, which begs the question, what are they doing? Because I don't think they're just sitting around twiddling their thumbs.
No.
So my tinfoil hat speculation could be that perhaps we are in fact getting an expansion, or we are truly going to get an expansion's worth of content, because that's what a whole separate subset of the company has been working on this entire past year. And, again, I don't have any real evidence other than the fact that they're still hiring and they're a very large company, and it doesn't feel like their Living Story has been nearly having as high of a throughput as before the game was launched.
Yeah. Plus,
there's a really long answer to a really short question.
No, that's okay. I told you.
But plus, I feel like they're listening to the community as well, so they're gonna go in the ways where they know that we won't be too disappointed, or like we're not expecting it, but we won't hate it either. So I don't think that it's gonna be, super boring of a living story in the next 4 months, but I'm actually kind of excited to know what's going on.
Yeah. And they've actually talked about how they're planning on sort of condensing the living story into like sort of more sub arcs, if you think of it in terms of TV seasons, where this season has been like a 24 episode season and it's felt like it's dragged on.
Yeah.
And it sounds a lot more to me like they're going to move towards maybe more like a BBC style where they do like three solid ones, and that's like an arc, and then they do another 3 or 6, whatever. And I think that would be very helpful as well, because there's only so long that you can get hung up on something like Scarlet, and if she was only a 3-month storyline, I don't think anybody'd really be that frustrated.
No, because it should be gone and you'd be onto something new. I think quarterly releases would be better.
Well, sure, but three months, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we don't get any content, and then like,
oh, I see what you mean.
we get like a big drop of, you have all of your 4 teams work, and then they make, their 4 months, 3 months content or whatever, and you're dropping it every quarter. So like we have a time to go and enjoy things, and then we get a big chunk to carry us through, because we saw the 6-month expansion model that worked for Guild Wars 1, and obviously that's a whole nother game type. And that, a year is too long, I feel, because they're really set on this, trying to keep people engaged all the time. And I feel like maybe that would be a way to go, because it gives people, you have like leisure time, and you could have a real living world situation where if it is like some of it stays, but some of it changes, but you've got a quarter, 3 months worth of time to go do something. And if you don't do it in 3 months, then, well, some of it might not be there anymore.
Well, hell, let's be greedy and ask for both. They can have big content patches every 3-4 months. But they can still do like sort of the light living story that leads up to it, and do some massive hype that way. If they can tell that story right.
But see, I agree, but I kind of disagree as well, because we've been having this Winter's Day stuff going for a month now, and players have been dropping. Like the guild is not as populated. People are losing interest. If patches would come in like 3 or 4 months at a time, even though it would be big, I think that they would be losing population in the servers really quickly.
Which is why I said both. That's, if they came out at the content they were coming out in November, and then we also had a huge, huge drop every 3 months, that would be amazing. And they've hinted multiple times that they have sort of a quote-unquote Death Star of stuff that's been assembling, and it would not surprise me at all if they've been working on the tech to put out even larger quantities of stuff.
Right.
Well, this whole living story thing has kind of been a learning experience for them, because no other company that I'm aware of has done anything really like this before. So it's kind of expected that there's going to be some rough patches, and as they do more of it, then they're going to get better at it. There was actually just a post up on the dev tracker today, it was either today or yesterday, where they said that they have all of the metrics for all of the living story, and despite all of the forum complaints, people still played some of those that everyone thought were bad. They played those more than some of the others. So I think that they're keeping track of it, and they have an idea of what they're doing, but they're definitely learning as they go on. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like you said, I'm optimistic about it. I think that they'll go in the right place. We just gotta. It's hard to give them time, but at the same time, that's like basically what we have to do, because no one's really done this before.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good, see? Hard-hitting questions.
Yeah.
I don't remember who was next.
I think I'm next.
Okay.
How long have you been interested in Guild Wars 2? And were you a fan of the first game, or is it just the new game?
I started playing Guild Wars 2. I say on the internet launch day. That's a lie. I started 1 week after launch day, but close enough. I started playing Guild Wars 1 on launch, or on a week from launch day. I logged about, I want to say 2,500 hours into it. I got just about everything you could hope to get, except I didn't quite finish off God Walking Among Mere Mortals, because that was I got to the tier right before that, and I was
crazy.
like, nope,
Yeah.
Too much grind, don't care. And I was a huge fan of Guild Wars 1, and I still am. I think that they did a lot of really interesting and unique ideas, and I could talk and write about it forever, but I think that they made a lot of really brilliant choices. But I also understand why they wanted to move forward and restart, from the ground up, basically, because they sort of similar to how writers write themselves into a corner, they sort of program themselves into a corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a software engineer in real life, and so I completely can understand why they weren't expecting the game to be as big as they are or as it became, and they really hit the edge of their capacity to work in that engine. And so I can understand why they'd want to nuke that and start from the ground up, because I don't know if you guys saw it, but one of their live streams they were talking about like the way that all events and everything were in Guild Wars 1 was actually just plain text files. And so all of their like holiday events, they had to like manually edit text files. And like if you can imagine doing that and how dangerous that is and how difficult that is, like there's a certain point you just need to say we're done. We just need to start over. And so anyway, and so then Guild Wars 2, I've been following it very avidly ever since it was very first announced. I was at the PAX when they first had their first panel about it. I live actually like 10 miles from ArenaNet, so
nice.
I actually go to all the PAX like panels and parties and all that stuff. And so I've been following it ever since the beginning. I've posted quite a bit on Guild Wars 2 Guru and things like that all through the development. I've pretty much followed it too much, like ridiculously, ever since it was announced. And I'm a fan of Guild Wars 2. I think they had a lot of good ideas. I'm not happy with some of the things that they've done, but other people are, and my way is not the only true path to a good game by any means. So
yeah, I mean, it says a lot that you're still playing it after a year and a half.
Sure.
So.
Okay, so let's get started with the next question. It's that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you get started in gaming?
Gaming. Oh, Jesus. I've been a gamer. Oh, I'm just gonna completely make up a number and say since I was 6.
All right.
I had some friends that had a Nintendo, and some friends of my family that had an Atari that I used to play at their house, and then my parents eventually got me my first system, which was the Game Boy, the original Game Boy with Pokemon Blue, I think.
Nice.
And actually, it may not have been. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Pokemon was one of the first games that I played, but it was easily up there in one of those early ones. Yes, I've got mine around here somewhere. I can find it, but I won't. And Pokemon Blue Master Race. But no, I've pretty much been a gamer ever since that, and I identify with a lot of different kinds of circles of people. I used to play a lot of sports all the way through the end of high school. I played soccer for like 12 years, or football, if you will. And I have a wide variety of interests, but I've always been very interested in video games. And as I've gotten older, it's become less just a hobby interest and more. I get more and more interested in trying to figure out like how games tick, how they work, why they work, like what's smart about them. I feel like I am moving more towards becoming not really a critic, but like looking at the design aspects. And I mean, I still game a lot, but I definitely am always thinking about, design choices and ramifications and motivations and all that kind of stuff. So, I've pretty much been a gamer for my whole life.
Nice.
Okay. I got one of the hardest hitting questions we're going to ask.
Yeah.
Possibly, maybe not. Your favorite video game of all time.
I was warned about this question, and I can't answer it. I could give you... but it's okay. It's not a full cop-out. I could give you a favorite in every genre that I play.
I'm down.
But if I had to give you the closest to my favorite, it would probably be Final Fantasy Tactics for the PlayStation 1.
Nice.
Okay.
That was a good game, and it I've never beat it because it just continually kicked my ass. Like, it was hard. It was really hard.
All right. Yeah. It's I'm glad. Naveen, did you warn him?
No.
Just about that one. She just said something, or unless you're talking about
Oh.
another question.
Yeah, I did.
No.
I gave
Just in
him
my email
examples,
about
and that was it.
contact information. Yeah, I was just like, is there anything I should prepare for the interview?
Yeah.
And she said, no, it's just casual, just stuff like, what's your favorite video game? That was literally all she said. And I was like, fuck. I'm screwed. I can't. This is going to be the hardest interview I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, that's usually the one that
the
gets.
only interview I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, usually people can't. They don't know that that's coming, and then they're like, "What? Let me think." And we usually get that a lot. Like, I can give you one per console, like generation.
Yeah.
Once per genre, but
Yeah, I could pretty easily do one per genre, but it's very hard for me to equate. It's kind of like, what's your favorite movie? It's like, well, how do you compare the best drama to the best mystery to the best sci-fi to the best, comedy? Yeah, I mean, they're too asymmetrical in their what makes them good.
I got that narrowed down to one of two. So
give them to me.
Ghostbusters and Evil Dead 2.
Oh, we're talking movies. Okay.
Movies.
Well, that's.
Oh, I thought you meant games. I was like,
Games
a good
Games
Ghostbusters
is
game?
Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Oh, that's a fantastic one. Have you
Final
seen
Fantasy
that run
3.
that's down to like 19 minutes now?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Okay. There's a charity run that is called I think it's Awesome Games Done Quickly is what it's called. And last year, just look for like Zelda speed run, and it should be one of the or Ocarina of Time speed run, and it should be. I can even find it for you if you give me a second.
19 minutes.
It's amazing, and the one on that stream was about 23 minutes. And what's great about it is he's live streaming it. You can see the game, you can see him, and not only is he doing this speed run, but he's actually explaining not only how the speed run is working, but also the history of speed runs of Ocarina of Time and how they've evolved to use different techniques and different glitches.
Holy cow.
And it is phenomenal. Even people that don't like Ocarina of Time have told me that it's an amazing video. So I would highly recommend it.
19 minutes is what I spent on the first level of the water dungeon. It's like,
yeah.
It's a stupid water dungeon. I hate you. I'm gonna put my boots on again.
Worst. The worst.
Yeah.
Which is why if you have a 3DS, pro tip, get Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time 3D because they make little quality of life changes, like toggling your boots with a tap on your 3DS screen. So it's like iron boots on, iron boots off.
I just posted it in the Twitch chat, by the way.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Awesome. I will. Yeah, I'll be watching that.
Okay, can you give me just a 30-second away from keyboard?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
All right, I will be right back.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
We're gonna sing
This
all night.
is your hold music. No. I don't know.
All right.
I'll keep going. I was doing the beat.
Oh, right. We need a Casio.
Oh, man. Yeah. Do, dee, do, do, dee, do, dee, do, do, dee, ching, dee, do, do, dee, do, dee, do, do,
Hey, we should
dee.
do a question of the week now while we're waiting. Our next question of the week.
We can do that.
Where is it?
Yeah. It's at the bottom.
This is right below.
Oh, but we actually haven't talked about that yet.
Oh, but maybe he wants
That's
to
okay.
answer.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we should wait.
Yeah. Okay. So today's topic is only the interview, and then did you want to talk about the data mining stuff?
Oh yeah, we're definitely.
Yeah, we should, because the chat like blew up when that link got posted. It was it's understandable, but I'm just gonna say, calm down real quick.
Calm down.
Simmer down. Yeah.
I don't have the link, so
Okay.
Get some Gen 4 Pokemon Focus Center music playing.
let's make that the interlude music.
Yeah. Naveen, are you doing the Guild Wars 2 65 thing?
No,
Nope.
I wanted to, but then I figured we're the 9th already. I'm gonna have 350 54. No,
I'm
56.
gonna pretend like I can hear you.
Okay.
Turn it down a little bit. It's nice background.
For those who are driving in their cars right now, listening to this podcast, don't sway too much. You might hit something.
It's true.
This PSA has been brought to you by Chronicles of Dario. Please do not sway and drive.
Alaska says, watch out for music on YouTube. Oh no!
Yeah, we're gonna get banned.
Right.
Interlude
Welcome
done.
back.
Yes. All right. So going back to Guild Wars 2, what is your favorite race and profession?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say my favorite race in general would be Sylvari because I find that, well, this is both aesthetically and design-wise. I find that they're a really interesting take on a new race that has a fairly plausible explanation for why they look like humans and also for not going the cheap, easy route of just making them elves. And in game, I love them because they have by far the greatest diversity of ways that you can build them to make them look different. I think they just hit it out of the ballpark on being able to do skin colors, skin patterns, glow patterns, different like kinds of plants, different kinds of skin textures, different. I mean, the variety I've seen in Sylvari characters it just eclipses the other races by an enormous margin, and so I would say Sylvari, and then I actually like humans a lot in Guild Wars 2 as well because they're not quite as standard fare as they are in a lot of other games. You know, they're not the most widespread. They're not necessarily the most common. They definitely focus way more on like issues of faith and being, which is not like a huge thing for me, but it's just different, and being, you know, sort of beleaguered and under siege, and you know, I like humans a lot too, but Sylvari for race and class probably.
That's even harder than your favorite game question.
There's different reasons. My main is a Sylvari Necromancer, so I'll probably go with that. But I really have a soft spot for Mesmers, both in Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, because they really occupy a fairly unique design space. You know, because they take up that, like, they're fulfilling at the same time like mind magic, illusions, trickery, but they're not the classic just like debuff mage that usually goes with those kinds of magics in other game systems, in tabletop gaming systems like Dungeons and Dragons. Like if you're an illusion and enchantment mage, you sit back and make yourself invisible and then control people or confuse people or, you know, debuff them. But in Guild Wars 2,
many fights.
Yeah, right. But in Guild Wars 2, they are completely ignored by True Sight and random BS that your DM just likes to put you at.
Yeah, exactly.
But in Guild Wars 2, like they are battle mages that use illusion magic to give them an aid while they shoot you with lightning bolts and chop you up with swords and all sorts, and they make their clones explode, and you know, I mean, all sorts of things. Like they're fantastic, and I've always, to borrow a term from Dungeons and Dragons, especially on the internet, I've always been a fan of quote unquote Gish classes. You know, classes that mix magic and physical attacks together to make a hybrid that is more like, you know, they're not wholly one or the other. They make a good style, and too often Gish classes are just bad at both. You know, so, and that's something Guild Wars 2 nails really well. You know, with the Guardian, with Dagger Elementalist, with Mesmer, with Necromancer. I mean, every magical class can be played like a straight up mage, or they can be played basically like a Gish, and I really appreciate that.
You never really thought. I mean, I obviously always realized that playing Guild Wars 2, but I never really thought about it from that kind of perspective. From like a D&D perspective, because you're right, a lot of the times you can either be completely squishy and useless, or you know,
unless you're like Godzilla in 3rd edition. I just polymorph into something and then turn into another thing and then steal its stats, and then I become Pun and I destroy the universe.
Pun for the win. 3.5 druid is just It's just broken. That's the first D&D game I ever played. I played a druid, and I was like, what is this? And then like I'm watching like my stupid friend who played a monk just fail at everything, and me just blow everything up with fire tornadoes. But that's another story.
So because I know exactly what you're talking about, I'm just gonna sit back and sip on this coffee.
It's okay. We can move on. I feel
It's
like
your
I've
turn
answered
to
the
ask
question.
the next question.
Yeah, it's your turn, Naveen.
Now that I'm sipping coffee. If you could add or change one thing about Guild Wars 2, what would it be?
Ilona. I would add Ilona. To give a maybe a more serious answer, I would change Ascended equipment to not have any vertical stat progression and instead have the same thing that legendaries have where they can swap stats, because I abhor vertical progression, especially when it's long and grindy, and I've always been an alt person, and I feel it particularly keenly with Guild Wars because Guild Wars 1, one of the things I loved about it was that it was so easy to have optimal effective characters of every class within like a matter of hours. And I played, they talked about pre-release, play the game that you want or the way you want to play it. That was Guild Wars 1 for me. I played the way that I wanted to play it, as in today I feel like being a face smasher. So I'm going to play my warrior, and I can play I can play my builds, and I can do that. And if they added when the expansions came out and added new warrior skills, it didn't make my old skills and my old gear and my old builds bad. So if I didn't want to invest a ton of time in my warrior, I could still hop on my warrior and still be just as good because they added I mean we can get into arguments about Guild Wars 1 all forever about how much some of the progression was vertical with new skills, but essentially they added horizontal skills, and your old builds were not completely obsoleted, especially in PvE. And in Guild Wars 2, it was mostly that way before Ascended gear came out, and I've talked Ascended gear to death, but I don't have a character with full Ascended gear because I don't like doing the things that you need to do to get any individual Ascended piece enough to get it on more than one character. And this is coming from somebody that has 2 legendaries. And I have expensive skins, and I have legendaries, and I have all this stuff, and I don't care enough about fractals to play it enough times to get rings on all of my characters, and that bothers me, and it detracts from me wanting to play the game because it sucks to not have best in slot gear, and I'm not driven by I want to have best in slot gear, but I don't like working towards best in slot. I like working towards variety because I like to change my mind, and I like to change my build, and I like to change all those things. And in Guild Wars 1, I had dozens of builds for every class. And in Guild Wars 2, I have 1 build for every class, or maybe 2 if you don't have to change your gear for it. But I don't carry 2 sets of gear because it's too much of a hassle, and I like playing all 8 professions. And
change your traits every time.
And if it was just traits, that would be one thing. But so many of the classes require or would prefer different build sets or gear sets, and so that's what I would change. I would make it so that Ascended gear didn't make you better; it made you more versatile. And then I might actually put in some more effort on some of my characters to do that.
Yep, that's why I have so many alts, because I'd rather make an entire brand new character and go from 1 to 80 and have them have that build and this other character have a different build than try to grind up for another set of armor, because then I can choose a different race and I can change the way they look and experience different parts of the personal story up to level 30 and then not care anymore. And then after turn shows up, or level 50, whatever that is. And then that's why I have 16 characters. I have 2 of each profession. Because that way I can try something different. And that's kind of what I did in Guild Wars 1 too. It wasn't the same, I just really liked buying characters in Guild Wars 1. Because you had 3 different, I wanted to make an assassin, but play it as an assassin dervish. Then I had to, go to Ilona, and how you guys know. But yeah. So that was the main bulk of our interview questions, but I came up with one thing just now. Who's your favorite NPC in Guild Wars 2.
Ooh, give me a second to think about that.
Logan.
None of the members of Destiny's Edge
Yep.
at all. Hmm. That's a
Ho-Ho-Tron?
good question.
Oh,
Give me a second. Let's see.
One of the mentors. Oh, what's his name? The Norn. Yeah, or Tybalt.
Ferguson.
But
Well,
everyone's
there's
favorite
always-
NPC is Tybalt.
There's always Tybalt.
Ferguson?
I actually really
Fergal.
like a lot of the new characters that they've been building for what I call Destiny's Edge 2.0.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that that's gonna become a thing, and I actually like Marjorie. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
The best.
Sugar.
Favorite NPC. Just because she's
If I had
different.
if you allowed me to go to Guild Wars 1 and 2, it might be Palawa Joko.
I
maybe
loved
Mad King
him.
Thorn. I like Mad King Thorn a lot
Mad
too.
King
I like
Thorn's
the
good.
characters that are a little bit funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apollo Joko and Mad King are hold a special place in my heart from Guild Wars 1. And I hated Master Togo with a passion till I met Naveen. And her Master Togo impressions made me like I'm dying to get to factions just to play through it
Yeah,
with
in
everybody.
2 years.
In 2 years, but
Do you guys remember the hilarious spoiler for Master Togo back when it first came out?
There was a spoiler?
Were you there for that? Well, because he dies,
yeah.
and like within a day or two of the game coming out, a guild
Yes.
made itself.
Togo
Somebody
dies.
made a guild called Togo Dies at the End,
Oh.
and won the Hall of Heroes so that it broadcasted to every player.
Oh man.
Yep.
No.
Yes, I remember
Yeah,
that.
it was
do
so
remember that.
funny.
Oh.
Like I mean, it's kind of
Wow.
a dick move, but I think that's the funniest trolling in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
Guys,
It's like that-
I got the biggest laugh out of that.
It's like that thing going on right now with the new Xbox One, and someone called himself Xbox
Xbox sign out.
Xbox sign out. So everyone's like, they're calling his guy. He's like, don't shoot me or whatever. He's like, no, Xbox sign out. And then the Xbox like sign. It's like, no, wait, stop, don't sign out. There's just a bunch
Dude, you're blocking me in the corner. Xbox sign out. No. Awesome.
yeah, because I totally. Oh yeah, because did you guys ever go to Game Amp? Used to be. It was a Guild Wars 1 forum. It was one of the ones I always used to
Oh,
go
yeah.
to, and it was a guild too. They had like the lightning bolt
Yeah.
cape Game Amp,
Yeah.
and like one of their affiliates was Togo Dies, was the
Togo
and
guys.
I just, and like, I don't know how long it took me to actually put that together from like going on and like reading their guild name before I actually was like, that's, wow, I can't believe I didn't catch that earlier. Because that was, I wish someone could have done, there was like a Hall of Heroes in Guild Wars 2, because that would be funny to do for like expansions. Totally troll the populace.
Darashan says, by Ogden's hammer, what savings, guys? The best NPC with the most meaningful dialogues.
Yeah, even though I'm still trying to figure it out, because if he's talking Ogden from like Guild Wars 1 Ogden, he's a monk. He uses the staff. He doesn't use a hammer.
Yeah, you could use whatever you
I have an
need.
important interruption to make
Uh-oh.
to the
Okay.
Chronicles of Cherry podcast, because this is going to tie in directly to what we were expecting to spend a ton of time talking about. There has been a red post about the VIP membership image. Have you guys seen
Yeah.
that yet?
I
Yeah.
just saw that, yeah.
Okay. All right.
'Cause
Well, we can
that's-
talk about that when it happens. But
Yeah, we're going to get there like next.
okay,
Yeah, let's just go there right now.
let's just go there
So-
right now. Nobody cares about me. It's all right.
Hey,
We'll just talk-
That was
that was a
the
nice
end of
segue.
the-
Come on, man.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I do want to say one thing just real quick before we switch. We said Relics of War. You can visit them at www.relicsofwar.com. You can also follow Grybic on Twitter at King Street Grybic, right?
Yes.
Is that your Twitter? Okay.
Street is ST, but yeah.
Yeah. Or Saint. Sorry. It's King Saint.
No, it's street.
ST. Okay.
It's supposed to be street, but Yeah, there you go.
I thought it was Saint until you specifically mentioned it was Street.
Well, that happens a lot. That's why I mentioned it.
So, but yeah,
Thank
so
you.
that closes our interview. Thank you for coming on. And we're gonna talk about the formerly Reddit explosion topic of the VIP Guild Wars 2 that everybody was losing their minds over on Reddit today. And I'll post just the image link, but don't freak out because it's not nearly as bad as we thought.
Yeah.
But essentially, it was sign up for this VIP membership and get like crazy bonuses like discounts in the gem store and convenient banking and trading, which I guess would eliminate the need for the permanent contracts.
Warp to friend.
Yep.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, resurrection
opinion.
buff. Oh yeah, that's huge because yeah, whatever resurrection buff is, but teleport to friend, be like, oh, we were just talking on our let's play about how nice the follow me feature
Yeah.
was in Guild Wars 1. Hit spacebar and just leave it alone. Well, why don't you guys just run to that where we need to go for the next piece of the story, and I'll just teleport to you. But other things like additional bag slots and character slots and skill points, and then one of my favorites, prestige and recognition, which you would get for this VIP enrollment. So not only will you be getting all this other stuff, but they'll basically come out and say, hey, this person spent money. They get prestige and recognition.
Yeah.
But, well, let's start off initially. What did you guys think when you saw this or heard about this?
Well, I saw it today on Reddit, and my immediate thought was, oh no. But I decided, based on all of the stuff with the Ascended weapons last time, I'm going to try to reserve judgment until they actually come out and make an official statement. Because there's not really enough info there, in my opinion, to really get up in arms about it yet. But my biggest hope is that they don't make the game pay to win. If they do that, it's going to be a huge problem. But I trust them not to. So I'm nervously waiting to see what happens.
Don't wait too long, because we'll clear that up. But this is initial first impressions. So, Grybach, what about you? First impressions.
Mine's gonna be really long. How about Naveen goes?
Naveen, how about you?
It's like, oh look, something got data mined. Let me take a quick look at it. Oh wait, my son needs something.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
What about you, Lagywn?
I'll give my first impressions were, wow, that goes completely against everything they've always ever said for the past 8 years. But okay. And then, again, I looked at it, and a lot of the stuff they talked about, it did seem like convenience things, which has kind of always been their model with the gem store, is it's nothing that'll make you better at the game or better than anybody else. It's only purely things that are convenience, which the only thing that might be arguable is the resurrection buff, if that did make you better, say, but you still have to die to then get a buff, which kind of, I guess, offsets itself. But I know a lot of people said that they spend more money in the gem store as it is now because there's not a subscription. So it's like, oh, let me just buy a couple of gems to get that one thing. Or let me do that. And you might find yourself buying gems multiple times a month if multiple things come out. But ultimately, for me, it came down to how much would this thing actually cost? Are we talking $1 a month, which I know is completely unrealistic, but like $5 a month, $25 a month? But I still stand by why I always played Guild Wars 1 in the first place was I'm a no subscription fee kind of guy. Like I like to be able to have a game with no subscriptions because if I don't play it, then I won't feel obligated to play it because I'm paying for that month's worth of time. And that's why I never got into any, pay to play games, even though I find myself prior to this break in Guild Wars 2 every day anyway, and it's free. But to quote one of our guildmates and Casey, who's sometimes here on the podcast with us, how could I know again initial impressions?
Crikey.
How could they think this? What?
Crikey.
Crikey.
Yeah, crikey. Sorry. If they got so much shit from all the fans about reskinning Tier 3 cultural armor in the gem store, why did they think that this would be a good idea?
Mm-hmm.
So, first impressions, yeah, very off-put, but hopeful that it wouldn't break the game. So, all right, let's hear it, Krybach. What do you got?
Okay, so my first impression was similar to all of yours in that, like, this is a terrible idea. And, you know, I think it's important to make the distinction that, like, I wasn't. ArenaNet has done some things that I really disagree with, and they have lost my trust that whatever I hear will automatically be the most charitable interpretation anymore. So where a lot of people read it and said this has to be their April Fool's joke, that I'm not in that place anymore, and I used to be, and it's kind of makes me sad that I'm not there anymore. but I'm not, and when I see these types of things, it's very much my style to look at, like I said, the ramifications, the motivations, the repercussions. And so I wrote a lot of things, and it's just today on Twitter and a little bit on Reddit that, are basically all under the pretense of, if they do this, or I can see why this would be this way, and I don't like any of them. And I stand by all those things that I said, even though this Red post that we're about to talk about confirms that that is not the case. And like I wanted, like I've tried to make it clear, because a lot of people, not necessarily specifically directed at me, but I feel like it kind of is, have basically said, like, you need to have faith and you need to not freak out. And like I want to make it clear, I'm not freaking out. I'm looking at the information that we have and talking about how I feel that would affect the game if it was the case. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely not like a conspiracy theorist that says, like, this is absolutely exactly what it looks like. But I'm not afraid to talk about, if it is what it looks like, this is how I feel about it, because that isn't going to change. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of the things where a lot of people that I know, they still have that level of trust, and I don't. And I mean, that's sad. And I still love the game, and I still trust, as I said earlier in this episode, like I trust that the developers are good people, and that they're passionate about their job, and that they're doing what they think is best. But whether or not what they think is best is what I think is best is a completely different question. And they've done several things that they clearly think is best, and I don't. And this was sort of coming on the heels of, I think it was in the horizontal, or it might have been in the vertical progression CDI, but it might have been in the horizontal. One of them said, we talked extensively about our vision for the game on Reddit a year ago, and we still stand by that. And I've pointed to that post multiple times in arguments about whether or not they would add another tier of gear beyond Ascended, and whether or not they would raise the level cap. And a lot of people that have said, the same people that have said, like, they'd never do that, like, have faith and such. Like, that post specifically says, we've always planned to have some forms of vertical progression, and we've always planned to eventually raise the level cap. And just a week ago, we got a post saying we stand by that post. And so having those things that I already like vehemently disagree with, and then having this come out, like that would not surprise me. And so I was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that it may have been in the Chinese beta, or meant for the Chinese market, because that is, I understand that's a different market and they're not going to be part of our ecosystem. Or that it may have been an April Fool's joke, as much as I didn't believe that was the case. Yeah. But that if this was the case, I would be very upset and disappointed, and I would have been.
Yeah, I saw, who was it? Someone in the chat mentioned
Life Spartan.
Is it Live Spartan? I don't know. I was gonna look for. Someone said, I won't scroll up and find it, but someone in the chat said if they threw in player housing and sandbox content, I'd pay for VIP.
Oh, right.
And that's
And
exactly why I'm against that. Is
That's
because there would be too big of a temptation to design around a subscription.
Puffin
Yeah.
Cloud. said
yes,
that.
thank you, Puffin Cloud.
Right.
But yeah. No, I agree. And again, I mean, you can look back at the Guild Wars 2 MMO manifesto video, and you can still pick apart stuff from that they said they were gonna do, and think, even stuff in the video that was made that's just not even in the game yet, or like, some of the way they describe dynamic events, and they show like the centaurs riding through and knocking down the pipes and things setting on fire, and it looks so cool. That doesn't happen at all. But I agree. I again hopeful, and I want to have some faith in ArenaNet that they can, deliver on this. But all of that aside, guess what, guys? We got a dev post that says it's not for the West. It's not for any area that we already have Guild Wars 2 in. It's purely in the reason that you found it on the Edge of the Mist beta is it's for testing. We're thinking about testing it for our test groups where we're going to try to branch out that areas that don't have Guild Wars 2 currently. So basically, VIP mode is for China at this point,
Or possibly Korea.
Or Korea.
Does Korea have Guild Wars 2 right now? I don't remember.
I don't
think
believe
so.
Well, we know China's the big push. They put out
China's the big push, though.
They put out that like the China, like the beta or like the trailer for that, and then we got a version of it, which was a really cool cutscene and all the stuff that I'd love to see more of that in the game. But that's the big market that they're going for now. And again, as you mentioned, Graybach, it's going to be separate. They're their own little entity. So
Yeah.
VIP staying with them doesn't affect us. But I did see, even after that post, just tons of just hate dripping with venom posts on the forums about that. Like, the fact that you would even consider doing that maybe for one territory is awful, and it has me so worried. And it's like, just cool down a little bit,
Simmer
guys.
down.
Just a little bit. Like,
Yeah, there's a
it's
lot
like-
of vitriol that goes on in official forums, and I mean, I hope I don't come off that way, at least in writing, because I definitely know that sometimes in writing people consider me to be very angry and aggressive in my tone of writing, and like I really am just writing straight out of my brain, and that's how my brain processes things, is like in just this certain format, and most of the time I'm not intending to sound angry at, or like sound in an angry tone, like I can say that I am angry, but like it's not, but I've always felt that it's important to voice both what we like and what we don't like in the game or the direction it's going, and I think that they've consistently shown that they're willing to listen to that and they want to hear it, as long as you're not being an asshole about it. And so I don't feel any remorse for anything that I wrote today, because like I said, those are all things that are true. If they did that, I would be very upset because of those reasons, and a ton of other ones I didn't. And I think it's good for them to hear people say, like, this would harm my perception or desire to play this game if it came out this way in America, or in not America, but the current servers. Like, this would harm the game for me, and I think that as long as you're polite about it, I think that's good for them to hear that. So, don't be a jerk.
I mean, they've pretty much proven to me that they're interested in getting feedback with with what they've been doing on the forums, as far as the balance stuff, and like you mentioned, the vertical and horizontal progression. So it did seem weird that they would just like drop something like that out of nowhere. So I'm really glad to see that it's not intended for our market, and I doubt it would be, because I'm pretty sure that they know that they'd get really bad reactions. But it does make your heart sink a little bit every time you see something like that, and you're like, oh no, please don't ruin this game. It's such a good game, please. Yeah.
No, I mean, crisis averted for the time being. So we can
Yeah.
lower the DEF CON level here, guys. It's not
Yay!
again, it's data mined in a beta for testing. So like this is the most theoretical you can get without just coming up with it right now.
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
so and again, like we've said many a time, we kind of do disclaimers for any time we talk about anything in a more real sense about data mining is just because it's been data mined doesn't mean it'll actually show up in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
Yeah, we've had
paper
plenty of
masks
examples of that. Yeah.
is the key one that everybody's like, that's perfect for Halloween paper bag mask skins. And they looked awesome, and everybody saw them, and they're not in the game.
Yeah.
So I
And
mean,
we're
Yeah,
sad.
and I 100% believe Martin Kirstein, or however you pronounce it. You know, when he says that, what he said. Like, I don't disbelieve the words that they say. Like that they
Yeah.
actually officially tell us. You know, it's like I completely trust them when they tell me the way that something is going to be. Like that's, you know, but that doesn't mean that they get, you know, a blank check for anything possible ever.
Right.
So
yeah,
you know, let's.
yep.
As that.
Well, real quick, did you guys see the Black Lion introduction package that showed up in the gem store just this past Tuesday?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sort of.
All right. Well, I'll just run through it real quick. Essentially, it's 1,600 gems right now, which is 44% off, but you can only buy one per account. Per account, so one and done, basically. And what you will get is 1 box of fun, 5 die packs, 5 Black Lion keys, 1 recovery package, which is the oh God, what's in the recovery package? That's the recovery orb.
And the repair canister, I think, right?
And the instant repair canister, the tradesman's package, which is the merchant and the trading post NPCs, 5 experience boosters, 5 speed boosters, 1 series 2 mini pack, 1 18 slot bag, and 1 500 point essence of luck item. And you buy that once for your account, and that's it. And they did the
It's not
math.
bad.
The stuff that you can buy on the gem store alone comes to 2,500 gems, basically.
But if it's what didn't you say it was like 66% off or 66% its price?
Yeah, it's 44% off and it's 1,600 gems. So
So if it's 44% off, then wouldn't that mean that all told, after the sale is done, it'll basically cost the same as buying those individual things?
Yeah.
Close to a rough approximate.
basically,
Probably. Yeah.
but you would
Okay.
still be able to get an 18 slot bag, 5 speed boosters, and 1 500 point essence of luck for free, essentially. Yeah. So, at the 1,600 gem price, would you pay for it?
No,
Nope.
they're not.
Yeah.
They're not really items that I care for. That's why.
Right.
If it would have been like I don't know, like a full
Case of like armor set.
no, like the I don't remember the word. The pack where you can change what you look
Oh,
like.
makeover kit?
Yeah, the makeover kit.
Yeah.
Like if it would have been that and like 10 Black Lion keys and I don't know, like it would be worth the 1,600 gems, which is already
lot.
expensive.
It's like 20 bucks, I think.
It's $20, yeah.
It's expensive
It's
for
800
items that
is
aren't
$10.
really that great to begin with. But yeah.
Yeah.
They also added the Mask of the Wanderer this time, which is 500 gems, and it's really cool. They've had it up for preview in the mists for a while now, but it's basically like a scar that you can wear over your face, and you can like color it different colors.
Yeah, I tried previewing it, but it won't let me see my face. It shows me the whole character, and my resolution is huge, so I can't see anything. Like,
Right.
the character's too far away. I'm like, no, I just want to focus on the face. It's not letting
Yeah.
me.
What do you guys?
I like it. It'd be cool if there was some way to put a helmet on over that, or like something. Just, but I know that the way the game works, it's not really possible. So, hey.
Yeah, 500 gems for a little scar like that, or a tattoo, technically, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, it just looks like a Norn tattoo to me.
I have to admit, I kind of like it. If I had 500 gems floating around, I'd probably pick it up because I can figure out one of my characters that would use it.
Basically, Arena so guys, we kind of exaggerated for your Christmas bonus, so we're gonna have to create a useless item that people are gonna spend money on. So here's a scar.
Naveen joins the tinfoil hat club.
Sorry.
I don't really like it specifically in the sense, but I like the concept of it. I just don't particularly like that specific thing. So I mean, I think it's great to have those kinds of. I'm always a proponent of permanent items. Like at this, like a week ago when they came out with the permanent Divinity's Reach thing. Like
Yeah.
I am over buying consumable, well, not necessarily consumable, but timed or limited use items. You know, I mean, I'll buy something that makes sense to be limited use, like a makeover kit or something. But I never bought and was never interested in buying a 2-week pass into the Royal Terrace.
Yeah.
But as soon as they came out with a permanent one, I bought 2 of them literally 20 minutes after they hit, like at midnight here. And I was like, I'm fine with that. And I don't, you know, I love that kind of stuff. And if I could pay $20 for a permanent makeover kit or something,
Oh my
like,
god, yeah.
even $30, I would probably pay $30 for a permanent makeover kit. Even if it was just a hairstyle permanent kit, I don't even care.
Yeah.
I would spend so much money on permanent things.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I know a lot of people say that and are full of shit, but but I actually buy permanent things, and I have tried a few of their RNG things just to give them a try, and I've been burned so badly by them
Same.
that I'm just over it. I'm over buying that stuff because there's so much just, you know, Black Lion keys. What did I get? I got a whole bunch of experience boosters. Yay!
Yay!
All my 80s give a whole bunch of flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
swear
Black Lion
words.
Key experience sounds very much like mine. So
Yeah,
I can
or-
sympathize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, like, I don't do that, but I buy a ton of, like, I loved the Super Adventure Box mini pack because I knew exactly what I was getting, and I love those minis. And I bought the Christmas pack, and I don't even use minis that much, but I like having them, and I
Yeah.
like not having to roll randomly for them.
Mhm.
And I've bought some of the skins, and I've bought some of, you know, the permanent Royal Terrace, and I bought multiple of the mining picks, and I bought
Yeah,
multiple of
those
those. And like I'm all over that kind of stuff. And as a side note, I think it's just yet another case of Arena actually listening to our feedback that they made those account bound, and I'm okay with them costing a little bit more money to make them account bound. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I understand why people might be frustrated by that, and I know the reality is a lot of people aren't actually going to transfer them between characters, but you can. Like, what I usually do is I have one set of that kind of stuff that I transfer to my current, like, most interesting character. Like, when I was doing a ton of Worldview World for the meta achievement, my thief got all of my account bound tools, and I have more than one set, but that allows me to siphon them over to my most played character at the moment. And he got the salvage kit, and he got all the salvage and all the mining tools, and he got, you know, all that kind of stuff because I was playing him a lot, and I really wanted to not have to worry about doing merchants and nonsense, and you know, so yeah, I mean, every permanent upgrade that they get, and that's why I wouldn't buy that 1600 gem thing either, because it's all the kind of stuff that I'm so sick of not knowing what I'm getting. But you know, the Scar, I don't really love the aesthetic of it, but if they came out with something like that was really cool, I'd totally be down for it.
I think that they should stem off of that and do. People, I think, would jump on gemstore, like monk style or necromancer style tattoo, Guild Wars
Yeah.
1 style
Yes.
body
That's
armor.
exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Because, like, what if I do, like, you could do gloves, like tattoo gloves, so then you can have, like, the sleeve. Character could have sleeve tattoos, but still have, like, armor, you know? That kind of stuff. Or just, like, a shirtless Norn could have double tattoos. If you have tattoos and you have tattoo armor. Be crazy.
Hi, look, it's getting late, eh, guys?
Oh, man.
It's only
Somebody's...
what two
An hour.
It's only
hours.
8:15. What are you talking about?
Well, We do have one last thing that we can talk about, and then we can close it all out.
One
So-
more thing.
One more thing.
I was more going towards Steve Jobs, but okay, that's cool.
I was going with Uncle from Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah, I know.
Such a great show.
I love that show. It's on Netflix, by the way. You guys should.
You know what else is on Netflix? Bulletproof Monk. That is a great,
Is it?
terrible movie.
That is
I
a
just
great,
watched that
terrible
again
movie.
for the first time in like 15 years, and it was so awful and so great. It was amazing. My wife had never seen it. It was fantastic.
Was she excited?
Oh yeah, she loved it.
Nice.
We were cracking up at how bad it was. Anyway, sorry, go on.
That's fine. I just posted the link. I'm sure you guys have all seen the metronome
Yeah.
thing that ArenaNet sent to who was this?
Oh
Gamerzines.
yeah. For the next patch thing,
Yeah.
sorry, patch.
So it's a Guild Wars 2 metronome, and then on the back of it, it has an inscription, and the inscription says, "Thump thump, time to jump. Wipe all resistance from your mind. There's a secret deep below to find. If you'd only seen the things I've seen, you'd wake up screaming from the dream. This next part will sting, but it brings me joy. Sometimes to change you must destroy. A fire is rising you cannot contain. Tyria will burn while I remain." So, 3 guesses on who sent it.
Scarlet.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So I think bromms put it somewhere, but what's with her obsession in timepieces? Things that
Yeah.
keep time.
I don't know.
Metronomes.
ever since Clockwork
pocket watches.
Chaos.
Yeah, I know. I mean, metronomes and
She's starting to
There's some
ban.
speculation that she's had some time travel.
Yeah.
yeah, and the mists would allow that, and she saw the mists or whatever.
Beyond the mists.
She saw
Yeah.
the future.
Maybe
Yeah.
there's a new Elder Dragon of Time.
Oh.
I still think she's talking about Primordius.
Well, that's what a lot of people are saying, given that whole
Yeah.
the secret below thing.
Yeah,
And
fire.
and fire rising
Yeah.
and burning everything. And some
Yeah.
people have pointed out that she uses the fire language a lot, even during Clockwork Chaos and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. Like ground pounding probes that, like,
Yeah.
and then talking about the fires below and the fractal where she's talking about how the Thomanova reactor is like tapping into the energy of dragons, and as we know, Primordus lives underneath Maguma and is, you know, so who else the original Radasum underground tapped into the, or maybe it wasn't Radasum, but whatever, the original, you know, their network used to tap into the power of dragons. So, you know, and the Sylvari live where? Really close. So it might not be Primordus, but, you know,
Yeah.
there's
The
a lot
only other-
pointing to it.
I
The only
want
other-
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, go.
I want M. Night Shyamalan to direct this and be like, what a twist! It's not him.
Yeah.
It was Traherne all along.
Yeah.
The only
No, it was never mind. I lost it. Cormyr. There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Cormyr's the most awesome god. Shut up.
Is she though?
No,
No.
she's my girl.
I'm still hopeful that it could maybe be that jungle dragon that Colin Johansson let slip in that one. You know, we know there's a
Mordramoth.
jungle dragon, Mordramoth, as everybody's calling, based off of Subject Alpha. But she says, you know, you wake up screaming from the dream, so that has the whole Sylvari kind of aspect to it. So part of me was hoping like the grove would burn, and like as much as that probably won't happen because that would drastically alter an entire race's starting area and everything like that.
Well, unless they pull a cataclysm, they've said multiple times that the face of Tyria will be rocked to its core or whatever. Similar
Yes.
phrasing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the dream burning. I mean, she seems to not just care about. She's all about manipulating the Nightmare Court for her own means, and she doesn't seem to really care what the Sylvari have going on. She wants to burn everything to the ground and make everything mechanical. Yeah, burninating all the peasants. You know what? I hope it's just like she just drops a giant metronome on top of Pale Tree, and that's just like all it is. It's a jumping puzzle, and it's just like.
What I'm most excited about, what they said through all of that, speculation stuff, is that it's gonna change Tyria's face forever.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a permanent thing. There's something in game that we constantly see that we will never see again.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be living story.
Maybe they'll let us go to some new zones. They've got them blocked out. I mean, they have a frickin' entrance to a zone for out of what is it, Brisbane Wildlands?
Yeah.
You know, they have an exit to the zone that we can't get to. Who knows? You know, I'd love to see it.
And then in the video, you have all of these broken surrogates.
Gates.
Is it in Lion's Arch? Imagine if all the surrogates from all of Tyria, they all shut down, and then they bring in mounts.
Well,
Oh,
there is a set of broken and not working surrogates in
Lion's Arch
already.
Yeah.
Which it's entirely possible that one of them gets fixed or one of them gets activated, and maybe that's like a time thing, like it's a time travel surrogate.
Mm-hmm.
I did just see,
or hell, maybe they lead to the deep chambers, like the central transfer chamber, and they get opened up, and Lion's Arch gets attacked again. This time by dragon minions instead of Karka, and there's some epic living story thing, and then now we can go back and follow it through and go to some huge underworld. Yeah, we could go. Yeah, I mean,
it can go a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I'd love to see it. I definitely would love to see them step up on living story.
I like. There's a lot of comments in the chat that were like, "This is Scarlet's story, and only her story."
Yeah, it used to be Traherne's story.
And then Eduardo from Mexico says, "My theory: Scarlet will burn a little house in Lion's Arch. She will laugh and teleport out at the end.
Yeah,
Changes the face of Tyria forever." That one house in Lion's Arch is no longer there. She burnt.
I'm always a fan of the technically correct answer.
Yeah,
that's the best kind of correct.
That's the best kind of correct. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I've still thought for a long time that her whole plan is to essentially become a god by usurping the power of the dragons and or the ley lines and or something like that, due to that whole backstory that was written, and her going through the mists and seeing beyond, all that stuff. And that, I've sort of long held this theory that is her grand plan, is that she is architecting some way to ascend to effectively godhood. And and if they really wanted to make it fun, maybe they'd tie in that the human gods are essentially just like beings that have discovered these ancient powerful magics and souped up themselves, and they're nothing more than super, kind of like the Mersat, are just super powerful spellcasters. I would love for them to tie some of those loose ends together and say like, yeah, all these cultures had all these gods and spirits, and really they're just really, really powerful. And maybe Scarlet's going to become one and go laugh off her crazy ass off to somewhere else and leave the world in shambles. But I would love that kind of thing if they pulled it off.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
It'd be awesome.
I've got then Gabe Newell appears and announces Half-Life 3. Yeah, good luck with that. That's really who Scarlet is. Scarlet is Gabe Newell, and this has all been for Half-Life 3. ArenaNet bought a large stock in Valve, and this is what it's all about. And Son says those half-built gates in Lion's Arch could be hubs for future cities, which is true. I mean, there's 6 or 7 or 8 of those, like broken surrogates in there. So that's
not
a
that they
ton.
didn't just. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not adding them in now. They've been there. Yeah. So there could have been plans to go to like all over the place.
And not like they didn't just add them in for fractals. And,
yeah.
all that, and they'll also add them in. It would totally, yeah, I would totally believe them using that for future proofing, but at the same time not being limited by it, to say we can only ever have this many things,
Right. And I mean, who's to say they couldn't activate the big portal? Like they could activate old stuff that's under the water in Lion's
Right.
Arch 2 that was sunk. Then you could swim down and go through it.
Yeah.
Sure.
What were you gonna say, Brahms? I cut you off there.
I was gonna say, I think Darshan figured it out. The Scarlet Briar, Mad King Thorn, the Pale Tree, Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Done. Figured it out, guys.
That does
Here
it.
to hear first.
Or would that be Half-Life Tree?
Oh! Lol.
Well, on that note, I don't know. mean-
I don't think we can top that. I think we've
Yeah.
hit our peak.
It's too late.
Well, guys, I guess at this point, we should make like a tree.
And get out of here.
Yeah. So, unless anybody has any last little comments they want to make, we ran a little bit long, but we warned you ahead of time.
I'm tired. I need
oh,
a nap. And take a nap.
we have a
Then
question.
fire the missiles. What?
Question of the week. You wanna?
Oh yeah, jiggle. Here's your question of the week.
What?
There's a song playing. You can't hear it,
Yeah. It goes like this.
but it goes like, "Here's your question of the week."
Gotcha. I'm so bad at this podcasting thing.
That's cool.
We just want for our question of the week for all you guys out there is we talked a little bit about that Gamerzines metronome. What do you think it is? And what are your theories behind it? You heard ours here. We'd love to hear what you guys think. So get a hold of us on Twitter or Facebook or email us at hosts@chroniclesofteria.com and we'll talk over your answers. Hopefully there won't be, or maybe there will be, another hour's worth of emails next time. Who knows?
I don't know if I can make it. Because on next show, we will have Eric from Relics of War and possibly Kate to join
Sweet.
us. So
Well, they're a
So-
lot of fun.
Maybe we won't be doing tons of emails, but that doesn't matter because we'll find out next week.
Yes.
And then guess what, guys? The following week we'll have new content.
what? This is crazy stuff. Okay.
So, all right, guys. So I think we're gonna end this here now.
Can I sleep?
So, for the 78th episode of the Chronicles of Tyria podcast, I'm Lagywn.
I am Brahms.
I'm Naveen.
And I'm Grybach.
And we will see you next time.
Outro music.
Yeah, you can't hear it. There's an outro. I'm gonna check the release page.
Air guitar?
Air guitar.
Guitar air. Play guitar in the air.
I figured you meant like air, rock, air.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah. That was awesome.
A lot of stuff going on in the world. I'm